always an adventure. And now what's the new one, right?
Yep. Always a chance to do new things and have great fun. Speaking of which,
It's only supposed to be fun, right, Barry?
that's the idea. And of course, that's the topic today. So let's dive in, shall we?
Okay. Boy, I've talked to so many people say, I don't know how to flirt. I don't know if somebody's flirting with me. And so today, Barry and I are going to talk about the right and wrong way to flirt, because I'm not sure if people even know what the right way and the wrong way to flirt is. So we're going to talk a lot about it and see if we can set you straight, right?
Indeed, we will.
I'd like to welcome you to the newsstreamingnetwork.com, WGSN-DB, Going Solo Network. This is TV and podcast #1 internet singles talk network. Let's talk dating with Christine and Barry. Hi, Barry.
Hi, Christine.
Yeah, flirting, boy. One of the things that we always talk about is that men generally do not understand subtle and innuendo, and we women think we're being so obvious and so clear about when we're being subtle and indirect, and we don't understand why men aren't understanding what we're doing. And men often say, you have to hit us over the head with a frying pan or drop a bunch of bricks on our head, or we just don't see what it is you're doing or saying. Are you nodding to that, Mr. Y chromosome over there?
Absolutely. I mean, I remember we talked about this before about how Alison has this way of talking. Alison Armstrong talks about, women think that men are just hairy women. The reality is that women don't usually understand the way men think, because we do think differently. And so the idea of flirting from one side of the equation to the other side of the equation can be extremely different. And the challenge is, and we talked about this before in other contexts, but the same idea that when women are talking to each other, they can express a whole raft of ideas just by one eyebrow raise or one nod. And men are oblivious when women tell them all the stuff. So flirting is another level of that, because it puts it in the context of having to, for us men, be extremely careful, like we're walking on a minefield. Like, what is she thinking? What's she saying? Trying to figure everything out, because what women are saying to us is like a foreign language sometimes. So yes, we definitely need to break this down today.
And what's equally frustrating is that a raised eyebrow between women is paragraphs. We have communicated pages of information to each other with a look or a movement of our mouth or a nod of our head. And we think we're doing that with you men. And the hard thing too with widowed people or somebody that you've been dating for a very long time or living with for a long time is sometimes you really can develop a shorthand. And you have, over time, the man has seen you do this enough times that he goes, oh yeah, I know what she means by that, or I've stumbled along so much that I've done it wrong that I now understand what the right thing is. But a brand new person has no clue what you're saying or not saying. And the thing that's true too is that because you do this and it means that, it doesn't mean the woman standing next to you doing that means the same thing. And that's equally frustrating for men, right?
I don't know if I have words to cover it. Because it is the thing. And yes, even though I've studied this for many years, I get blindsided too, where I just totally miss the point and miss the communication. The challenge also, just to make it even more complicated, because we as men tend to be more blunt instrument style versus subtle scalpel. It's like between a hammer and a scalpel. Women's communication is much more delicate and subtle. Men's is more blatant and blunt. And so when we flirt, women must feel like it's like a bull in the china shop. It's like, dude, like, chill out a bit, because we don't know. And so unfortunately, what happens sometimes with dates is a man will think he's being subtle, and she's being so distressed by his lack of subtlety that he's walking away and he's losing out his chance. So to navigate this minefield is something definitely worth thinking about and putting some energy into, because frankly, if you want to have a great relationship, you want to start with the right starting point of communication and connection.
Oh boy, yes. This is so fun. This is just so fun. Yes.
Yeah.
So from the woman's point of view and perspective, when you talk about when a man is approaching us, We like it when you let us see you coming. That's really helpful for us, that you don't just pop out of nowhere. It can be kind of startling for us, even though it's generally not startling for you, for us to just pop out of nowhere. We really appreciate it if you give us a chance to kind of see you out of our peripheral vision and have a big smile on your face. You know,
Yeah.
you look friendly, that you look warm, that you look inviting as you're approaching us. That's really helpful. It will at least start you out at a neutral place and maybe a little positive. It won't start you out as a negative. So that's the first thing I tell men, that if you're going to say something to us, let us see you first and have a smile, and a smile that
Yeah.
reaches your eyes, right?
Oh, well, that one alone, just that piece alone, I'll dig into for a second, because it happens for men and women. When a person smiles with just the mouth, not the eyes, it reads as false no matter who you are, frankly. I mean, most men may not get it consciously, but unconsciously they'll feel it, that they don't trust what they're seeing, because it is about reaching your eyes, because a smile is a full facial expression, to be blunt. It is that clear. So when you don't do that, it doesn't land as trustworthy. So for men especially, if you're not being authentic in your communication, she will know that.
And I know you're nervous. I know you're nervous. You're going to say the wrong thing. You're going to put your foot in your mouth. Take a deep breath, get kind of centered, so that then your smile really can reach your eyes, even if you are nervous. That's really important, because this kind of a smile looks really kind of tense. And if you're nervous, then it makes us nervous. And then it makes us wonder why you're nervous. And that, do you have something nefarious or not the best in mind that you're coming up to talk to us about? Even if you don't, we'll pick up the vibe. And then say something. You can say something about us, generally not about our physicality. It's really important that you compliment us about, you could compliment us about something that we're wearing, or something that we've said, or a reason that you saw us. Gosh, you're at this really interesting conference. What brought you here? Or I heard you make this interesting comment. Or wow, I heard you ask this question. I wanted to hear more about it.
Mm-hmm.
To say, I like your smile or your eyes, I know it's really tempting, but generally, there are some women that would be fine with it. There's some women that are looking for that, but do it second or third, because it won't be off-putting for the people who like it, but it can be off-putting to lots of women who, if you go to the physical compliment right away. So just hold back a little bit and say something else about, gosh, that's just a great outfit that you have on, if you really want to say something physical, but make something about what we've said that was smart or interesting, or that we're even at this thing. Start out with that. It really will. Oh, you paid attention. You want to engage with us about our mind. It's really helpful. Start there, guys.
Yeah. In fact, I want to back up to one thing you said earlier, which I want to get to the thing about nervousness, because that's one thing also. Because as you said, when we don't communicate clearly with our smile authenticity because we're nervous, and women can't read it well, and then they get nervous about what we're thinking, and that gets really worse. Guys, it's okay to say to her, I'm nervous. Because first of all, it's honest. Secondly, when your smile matches that and she gets it, she will trust you more. The fundamental things, it was actually in a whole other conversation that I was in a different training that's nothing to do with this. But basically they said that in terms of relationship and connection, the three levels is, first of all, safety. The second one is trust. The third one is surrender. So if you don't feel safe first, and for men, with women especially, because men are the stronger, bigger types usually, if we don't make her feel safe, there's no point in trying to flirt, to be blunt. And then, of course, building trust is another part of that. And trust is alignment with facial expression and communication. So when you're nervous, say you're nervous. So she goes, oh, okay, I get it now. And she'll trust that. So you build that connection and intimacy through flirting, step by step, block by block.
And we might even try to put you at ease. Oh, gosh, I was nervous too. Or gosh, isn't this a weird place for us to both be? That we could now bond on the, I was nervous too. That's
Right.
really good advice, Barry. Thank you.
Of course.
So then generally, because there's all kinds of people in the world, but this is a very often a high percentage of women, don't touch us unless we've touched you first. We would rather us touch you, like breaking the fourth wall when you're at a theater, at a play. We'll figure out a way to touch you If we want to see what your energy's like, we'll touch your hand. Oh, that was such a funny thing, or wow, that's really interesting fabric, or we're gonna pick a piece of lint off your shoulder that's not there. We're gonna straighten your top. We're going to figure out a way to touch you to see what the energy feels like for us, because that's really important to us. And if we touched your hand, you can touch our hand back with the same kind of comment. Or if we touched your shoulder, you can go, oh, wow, that's interesting. What's your jacket made out of? Or gosh, I'd straighten that. So whatever we do, you're allowed to do back generally, but don't generally do it first. We've now given you permission to have that kind of a physical contact with us.
Which is actually the inverse of what we talk about where men are supposed to lead. It's like we lead in some way. When it comes to physical touch, the women lead. And that's the thing. You honor that, respect that, you'll have a lot more success that way. Absolutely.
Yep. And some women will touch you right away. Some women won't touch you at all. Really let them take the lead with this. And it is really interesting because women are all about the man pursuing. The women are all about the man taking the lead. And women don't understand that they really are setting the tone when they do this. I tell women this, I'm like, oh yeah, I do that, because they're not doing it consciously, but they're setting the tone for how we now have allowed ourselves. I feel safe to talk to you. I feel safe to touch you. I feel safe to stand closer to you. I feel safe to open my body more to you. And if we start touching, like we start playing with our hair, we're starting to feel more comfortable. That's often a sign that we're feeling comfortable. If we start doing like this kind of thing with ourselves, we're feeling more comfortable. If we start doing this, you've done something that's made us feel uncomfortable. Take note of that. Think about, what did you say? Did you move in close? Do you need to move back a little? Did you say something that made us feel uncomfortable? Think about it. Did you change your position somehow? Think about it. Did you move your foot forward? Men just change your stance because you want to shift your weight, but think about maybe what you've done. And I know it's a lot to think about at once, but if you think about what you've done as you're experimenting, you'll find, oh, I see what I did that made her shift. Because what you'll find is we will start moving closer if we're comfortable and if we're interested. If we don't start moving closer, we might not, we're just indicating we're not interested in being closer. Okay, now you know.
And getting back to that thing about safety and trust too, because it plays into this, is that we, as the men, again, generally are the bigger and more threatening person in the dyad. So the more we can create trust by being safe with you and to be no jump scares, basically, not do anything that's going to be radically different and suddenly shift the energy, like you were saying. That's part of it, because innately what happens is she will start to feel like she can't trust him if he's not being present and static enough for her to feel like she can trust his movements and then lean into that, because she won't generally jump in. Now, I'm of course not talking about a club dancing, but I'm talking about just in sitting with each other. If he's going to, if you're the man, you want to shift position, whatever, do it like slowly, do overtly, so she knows what you're doing, versus suddenly you moved and she's like, what happened? Because again, trust is fundamental. It sounds so silly and so simple, yet it's fundamental in dating and especially in flirting. That flirting only works when there's safety and trust involved, because then it can play out on the excitement level without being a threat level.
And what I'm hoping from the women that are listening, that you're thinking, oh, I've never consciously thought about what I'm doing. Now I'm going to be more conscious, because if I want to indicate to the man that I'm interested, I'm going to make sure that I touch him. I'm going to make sure that I lean in when he's talking. I'm going to make sure that I open my body a little more, that I make sure that I have my arms down, that I lean forward, or that I turn a little more into him, that I lean into when he's talking, or that you stay back until you're more comfortable talking, that you are more conscious about what you're doing with your body, and that you're more conscious about paying attention to what he's doing with his. Because often we're just doing this unconscious stuff and not really thinking about it. And I think flirting can be way more fun if you're doing it more consciously.
Absolutely. In fact, I mean, and by the way, we're talking about the right way and wrong to flirt. We're not saying this is the only time you do it is when you first meet somebody, because you can be flirting through the whole journey of your relationship. So yes, understandably, some things you're talking about here do belong at the beginning, building trust, building safety, building rapport, and everything else. But you've been going together for 6 months or a year or 6 years in relationship. There are ways to flirt then as well, not just at the beginning. So just be aware that flirting is not a one-time thing. It's a ongoing skill set that you play with and explore and develop. And yes, some things you can do more pushing the envelope, so to speak, once you've already got an established relationship, because you've already built the trust and the safety and that comfort with each other, where when flirting happens, you have more latitude to play, so to speak.
Oh, yeah, we're still going to be talking about that after the break.
Oh, we are indeed.
And certainly talking a little bit more about the beginning part. So for a woman, if man stands next to you or you see a man across the room, walk up and start talking to him and do some of these things, because you can just appear in front of a man and he will think it's fine. He will not be startled. Wow, beautiful woman wants to talk to me. He will be leaning in right away.
Absolutely.
You touching to him. He'll be so, look at that. Barry's putting his hand right up. Men
Absolutely.
so thrilled when women make the first move to start talking to them. Men are so thrilled that you have a compliment that you want to give them, that you're interested in asking them their thoughts, that you want to hear their advice, or you want to hear their thoughts about something, that you want to have them help you with something. It doesn't happen enough in the world. And so being more forward in this way, women, but that you're still being very receptive, that this is such a receptive thing for women to do. And they don't understand that this is not a pursuing thing that you're doing. You're approaching a man to have him do something for you, that he's going to provide for you information, a service, time to give you some be company for the moment. You know, you're just sitting at a place waiting to do something and you're going to have some company for a couple minutes. Just think of it that way, that you're going to flirt a little and you're going to practice having your flirt on. You know, look over your shoulder a little at him. Look at sideways on your eyes. That's a really flirty thing for a woman to do. Men like that. So you can just practice doing that, especially if it's going to be a short moment and it's not a big thing. You're not going to like want to meet him forever. You just don't want his number. You just want to practice flirting. You're standing at a valet station and there's a cute guy next to you and you give him the eye and then you get in your car and leave. It's a great way to learn to practice.
And leave him hanging. Yeah, where he's going, what happened then?
I know, but you learn to practice, because there's lots of women that I don't know how to do it. Well, then just practice out in the world.
And the thing I want to say, just as a caveat, because I know some people watching this are going to go, yeah, but the dating scene is so challenging because you don't know if you trust them and everything else. As I mentioned earlier, the safety and trust are key. So flirt where you know it's safe to do. Don't just go and flirt any old man, any man you meet. No, do it with intention and consciousness. You need to, as a woman, I'm saying to women here, you need to be present and aware to your own surroundings, your own safety, as you know this stuff inside out, how to protect yourself. So even in flirting, do it with a sense of you flirt to a certain point without overstepping a line, so you don't give away the farm, so to speak. You know, always in public. Yes.
Yeah. So we're going to now go to a break and for our beautiful sponsors, and then we'll come back and talk some more about this. And if any of this is intriguing, because boy, Barry and I hear this all the time, that nobody knows how to flirt. I don't know how to flirt. I don't know when to flirt. And I keep screwing up flirting. And we're going to talk about it a lot more. And if you would like to get in touch with us to talk about flirting and learning how to flirt better, the way to get a hold of me is to go to my website, which is www.theperfectcatch.com. Scroll to the middle of my website and you'll see a questionnaire, what's holding you back from love. Click on that. It'll give you access to my online calendar. You can schedule a complimentary conversation with me and we'll talk about how to flirt. I am a really good flirter, so I am happy to do that. You can also send me an email at Christine@theperfectcatch.com. And Barry, how would people get a hold of you to learn how to flirt?
Yes. Well, and by the way, Christine and I'll both give you full details how to reach us at the end of the show, but these are just a couple of quick little hits here. So my website is my name, barryselby.com. And for me, it's at the top of the page on the homepage that gives you a link to my calendar. So you click on that button, which says let's chat, and you'll get on my calendar. You also get a form to fill out, same as Christine. Mine's different, of course. That'll give you a chance to fill out what's working for you, what's not. And then we have a 20-minute Zoom call to see where you are and where you're looking to go. And we find if we want to work together. And if you want to send me an email, you can send me one at barry@barryselby.com.
And we have two wonderful sponsors, the National Widowers Organization, that have people who have lost loved ones, and then also our wonderful station that sends out our Let's Talk Dating show. So we'll be right back after a couple of moments of listening to our sponsors. Bye for now.
See you in a moment.
The National Widowers Organization is a men's grief network. Our website serves as a virtual toolbox of free resources for men coping with the death of a loved one, whether a spouse, parent, a child, or lifelong friend. Our goal is to bring men together and arm them with as much information as possible to get through a devastating time in their lives. The NWO has a team of bereavement specialists and fellow widowers to help support you. You are not alone. For more info, go to nationalwidowers.org.
Thank you again to our wonderful sponsors. And now we're back to Let's Talk Dating with Christine and Barry. And today we're talking about the right and wrong ways to flirt.
Mm-hmm. And you were mentioning it before the break about how you continue flirting after you're in a relationship.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Because it's essential. It really is, to keep flirting forever. I've mentioned before that my brother and sister-in-law will be married 50 years next month, and I do watch them flirting with each other. It's pretty darn cute. And the lady that I go riding with, they'll be married 63 years next year, and I've watched them continue to flirt with each other. When we come back from our ride, he hollers out the balcony and she goes, "That's my lover." 63 years. I know.
I love it.
Yep. They have 11 grandchildren. They have 3 kids and 11 grandkids, and a few great grandkids now. So yes, keep flirting. So how do you keep flirting? I've heard, and I am going to keep it in mind for when I'm in a long-term relationship again, which I am diligently working on, each morning waking up saying, what can I do to please my partner today? What can I do to make them happy today? What would be a really good thing? One thing, just even one thing I could do for them today. If you have some ongoing things, like one of you brings the other person coffee or makes some special thing for breakfast, or, you always call on your way home. Do you need anything from the store? Keep doing that. And then what's an additional thing you could add? Send them a beautiful picture when you're out, or bring home flowers, or prepare their special muffins that they like, or gosh, I'd love to think about our next vacation, or come home to lingerie, or something that that would surprise them and delight them, and offer to do a manicure or a massage. Or I surprised my husband once with rose petals up the stairs and me naked laying in bed, or the shower already going and me in the shower. So those kinds of things, just to surprise people that not every single day, but something, sending texts that are sexy or fun pictures, not necessarily naked pictures, but just a cute, like a fun thing that you found on Facebook to send them that was a little sexy, or just that I was thinking about you. It's really important to just keep it up, because it is not a set it and forget it. It's really important to stay on top of. And the other part of it is, if you screw up, say, "I'm sorry." I think that's a big part of
it. Absolutely. I would say also that in a lot of ways, part of the wedding vows, in a way, like when you commit to a relationship, is that you continue to flirt with an ongoing intention to up level and improve your flirting all the way through, because it is easy to get into a rut in all sorts of areas, not just this area, but in all sorts of areas. So there is a thing where we tend to think, well, it worked this time, it should work next time. Maybe it's more for men than women get that one. It's like we like a routine that works. But the truth in relationship is it's always joyful to keep it fresh and alive. That's in all, again, different areas too, but in flirting especially, keeping the idea of attraction going from an intentional, conscious place will reap dividends for your relationship and the quality of experience you have. So definitely keep that conscious going forward, because frankly, your relationship depends upon it. So yes, make it work.
And I found when Tony and I talked about it, that thinking about what am I going to do for them kept me spiced up, much less doing something fun for them to keep them spiced up. It was really fun for both people. And he would, I don't know where these websites were that he found these interesting things that he would send me. I mean, these little like nesting boxes that I opened all these boxes and there would be these fun little trinkets at the end, or it was just I don't know, it was fascinating, the things that he would go searching and find. And I'm a pretty good gift giver, and I had to go the extra mile to keep up with him. It was really fun. And then I found like these pads of notes, and you tear up a note and I'd leave them under his pillow or put him in his lunch or something. And I mean, it keeps you on your toes if you really want to think about how to please somebody. So as you're learning to flirt brand new out in the world, and then as you starting to date somebody, to think about how to flirt, and then thinking about ways to keep it ongoing. The other thing that I have a couple of clients right now that are in very long distance relationships. I mean, they have to fly quite a distance, and so they don't see each other sometimes for weeks in between, and how they've come up with different ways to keep the flirting part available for them, because they can't actually be in each other's presence. So notes and what they do on Zoom calls, and WhatsApp is a really good resource because nobody can see anything you do on WhatsApp. It turns out it's totally encrypted. It was a good thing to find out. So how do you keep the connection? And it's not just the sexy part, even though I highly recommend that too. It's the emotional connection that flirting brings, that you feel important and cared about and thought about, and that it keeps your blood zooming, which is especially for, I'm going to say especially for women. We know this, but we forget that it's equally important for men, that they don't make a big thing about it and they don't ask for it. But because I have so many male clients, when I ask them, they say, I really like it. And it's so wonderful when somebody goes out of their way to do this for me. And I think that they take it in even more because it's so unexpected.
Yeah.
Do you feel that way?
Yes. And something you brought up really sort of got me thinking, is that, because thinking about the right and the wrong way to flirt, one of the missed opportunities, or one of the mistakes men make particularly, is we think flirting is to get someone in bed. Whereas flirting is about connection. It is about vulnerability, intimacy, joy, of all these different things you mentioned. And the thing is that if we can choose to make flirting directed to creating safety, to create openness, to create vulnerability, create connection, then it's working. But the problem is, what women feel as flirting is about that sort of thing, whereas men tend to think flirting means getting them in bed, and that's a trap. So flirting that way is the wrong way for men, because what we're going to do is drive her away. Flirting ideally is about, yes, you want to get close and have fun and connect and enjoy the intimacy things. As we said in other episodes, intimacy and sex are not the same thing. Same here as well.
And often people really do use that as interchangeable. So when people say, gosh, we don't have intimacy in our relationship, and I said, do you mean talking or do you mean physical? And they usually are meaning physical, but I talk about how if you don't have the talking and the closeness, you're not going to have the physical, because we women want that. The other thing that happens a lot is men frequently truly believe that a big gesture has a lot of dividends. And I say, often we women, we like big gestures, but what works even more is ongoing gestures. We're more like a buffet. We like a little now and a little more later and a little more later, where you guys are much more satisfied with the all you can eat buffet. You want a whole bunch now and you're satisfied, which is great. And we women, it's nice that we know that, even though you really do like a thank you a lot more than you would even say out loud. So if we all could just get into the, what could I do today? Could I do something today for each person? I don't think anybody would say stop. I've not tried that hypothesis. I think I could be clear about saying nobody would say stop. So do ongoing nice things. Do big gestures, sure, but don't stop doing the nice little things.
Right. That's such
And
a
we
key.
are the warm-up people generally. We like, if you want to get us in bed, then you need to warm us up. Talking, being sweet to us, foreplay. I mean, really, all of that is the part that gets us where we're like, yeah, now I'd be happy to get naked with you.
Right. And flirting is indeed part of that process. The challenge, though, is we think flirting is the reason to do it, not the benefit. It's like how you use flirting is such a key. And the thing I'll say about this again is that because men are generally hardwired and driven to bed the woman they're attracted to. So flirting is just the excuse to get there. So we are breaking down that wall. That's the intention. Is like, there's the idea that flirting is something that absolutely can create intimacy and vulnerability, and ultimately, yes, you can end up in bed together, but it's not a one-to-one ratio, let's put it that way. Flirting can be fun to do, as we mentioned at the beginning of the show, just to lift somebody's spirits, to be connected, to meet somebody. And yes, it may end up with that if that's what your focus is, but there should be more steps between the one and the other.
I'm so glad you said it that way, and from a guy's point of view, because it doesn't make you bad or wrong that that's your goal at all. Right. And if that is your goal, then this is how to reach it. To take your time and know that we need to have lots of conversations ahead of time, lots of safety, lots of listening to us, lots of judging where we are in our physical comfort with you. We really need to trust you. Because our emotions are so tied to us allowing you physically into our bodies. We need to feel relaxed. We need to feel excited. We need to feel open and available for us to have the best experience. And I only coach good men and talk to good men on Zoom here. So I know all of you want us to be pleased and happy that you're there. And this is the way to have that happen, is to start out this way. So learning to flirt in this very comfortable way for us that puts us at ease, even if it's not going to end up with us naked in bed with you, is a really good thing, a skill to learn, period. Because then when you really have a woman that's like, oh yeah, I'm so all about this with you, then the prize is even more valuable.
Yeah, it is it's almost like flirting is a way to build rapport and connection that is relationship on a human level, not talking about sex or anything. And just to make it even more interesting, it's even true in platonic relationships too. So to allow flirting to be part of your toolkit, your skill set, your communication method when you meet somebody. And for men, again, this is breaking the habit where we think flirting means going to bed with them. But if we use flirting with our friends, female friends, if that's a preference, just to practice that skill set, like you were saying, when we do meet the one we want to be in bed with, we're not so nervous. We have it more comfortable because we've practiced with other people that we feel safe with, and they feel safe with us. So flirting can be practiced in a very intentional and conscious way, especially when you're with somebody who you've already got the rapport and friendship with as well. And there's also make it clear that's what you're doing is flirting, not looking to get them in bed if that's not what you're doing,
And it really encourages women for us to continue being our most authentic selves, because men like us when we're being authentic self. We're more relaxed and comfortable. That the more at ease women are, the more at ease we are being who we really are. That we say, oh, you like that I'm silly, or you like that I like having intellectual conversations. You like that I hold myself this way. You like that I act this way. I'm going to be even more of that, and you're going to like it even more. That is really brings us closer. And only if you do like that, you don't want to fake that. But if you really are getting off on us being us, then encourage it even more, because that will absolutely bring us closer. And that is a great flirty mechanism for you. If you really like who we are, keep encouraging us to be more of that. Tell us how
Absolutely.
much that we're doing whatever it is we're doing that you like. And women too, whenever they're doing the thing you like, tell them how much you like that they're doing it. When they're appreciating you, I really like that you appreciate me. Or gosh, I really like how smart you talk about that. Tell them all the compliments that are real are so flirty. Compliments are very flirty.
And I was going to say, the thing about that is to really out the term, I think it's actually probably a book on this, about the hidden or the secret thing about flirting. It's like the whole point we're saying here is it's not secret, it's not hidden. Flirting is an overt skill set you can play with, have fun with, and connect with. And so what we're talking about is definitely having I won't say gamify it, but play with it, have fun with it, enjoy flirting, because it's such a great part of communication and connection. So flirting is something to be savored and enjoyed. Again, not necessarily as a one destination focus, but being something you play with in life and in relationships, on all your relationships, not just your romantic ones.
So Barry and I are big fans of practicing now and continuing practicing as you're learning to be in a relationship. And once you're in a relationship, never stop practicing, right? We're just going to say that.
Yes, absolutely. Flirting is a skill set to keep, use, and practice.
Forever. Never stop.
Absolutely.
Okay. So I hope that this has helped with some of those big questions people have had about, I have no idea how to flirt, or I keep flirting badly and I want to learn how to flirt well. And if you'd like to talk more about it with Barry and I, as you can tell, we like talking about this subject and we're both really good at it. So we could be happy to teach you. So the way to talk to me is go to my website. My website's full of lots of fun information for you. So the first thing to do when you go to my website is click on that questionnaire, what's holding you back from love. It's 10 brief questions. Where are you now? Where would you like to be? And then you get access to my calendar to schedule a personal confidential conversation with me. Get on my calendar. And then you can also go to the very top of my website and download my complimentary ebook that's all about dating. Would love to hear your thoughts about it. So I'm working on a 2.0 because people have made some really valuable suggestions about what they would like to hear from me next. You can also join my mailing list and you'll get a repeat in your email box about every week about the brand new podcast that Barry and I do every week. You can also go to the very bottom of my website and all my social media icons are there of Facebook and LinkedIn and Instagram and Twitter and Pinterest and YouTube. And if you click on that YouTube, you'll get all the repeats of the podcasts that Barry and I've done, over 260 valuable information. And you can also send me an email at Christine@theperfectcatch.com. And Barry, tell people how to reach you.
Well, after all that, it's like I got to catch up.
I know you got it.
Yes. So similar to Christine, I have a website and a few other things too. So starting from my site, which is barryselby.com, as I mentioned already. The top of the screen, as I mentioned, also you click on the Let's Chat button and get on my calendar, fill out the application form, which is a questionnaire, and then we go from there. At the bottom of the screen is a way to just jump into my email list, right? Bottom of the web page. You can just jump into my email list if you want to become a follower of my work, where I do send out a replay of the show every week, and plus other things I'm working on, other invitations, and other things I'm doing. In the middle of the screen is my first of the two assessment quizzes I created. The one in the middle of the home screen, you tap on the button, it takes you to my relationship readiness assessment, which is basically a verification that you're really ready to do this. You're ready to commit to a relationship. And asks you some very key questions, and you get to be honest in your answers, and they give you basically a rating at the end of it with an email that explains everything that's going on, plus an invitation to work with me as well. The second assessment is actually not on my site as a button you can click, but if you go to directly to it, which is barryselby.com/self-quiz, this is actually a self-assessment. And basically what it is how are you in relation to yourself? Where are you thriving? Where are you challenged by? What's working? What's not working? So you basically go to that page, and it will take you through a whole bunch of information. It provides a big downloadable PDF you can read through, give you lots of guidance and insights, plus another invitation to go check out my work as well. Up on the screen, if you're watching the video, is my book page, which is barryselby.com/book, which is my best-selling book, 50 Ways to Love Your Lover, which has been out for a bunch of years now. And if you want to check out what the book's about before you even buy it, there's a audio replay at the top of the screen, which is actually created by AI. There's two Very, very public radio sounding voices that talk about my book in great detail. So you get a 10, 12-minute discussion about my book, so you can decide if you want to buy it, and then there's buttons on the page to go buy it yourself. The other thing I'll mention quickly is, for those who've been hearing, I've talked about the emotional sovereignty course that I was talking about a few months ago. Because of scheduling and because of the holidays, I'm pushing it off now, starting in January. But if you're interested in finding out about how to be more authentic and only your own emotions in life, I recommend you get on the wait list, and there'll be a link available to that. If you send me an email or you go to my site, there are ways of finding out how to get on my what's the word I'm looking for? Wait list. That's the word, wait list, because it's coming up soon. I want to make sure you get the information. And social media wise, after all that, you can find me on all the platforms. I'm under my name, Barry Selby on YouTube, Facebook, on Blue Sky and Pinterest. And what's the other one it's on? Actually, the main ones. And if you want to find me on Instagram or Threads, it's the real Barry Selby. And so that's the best way you find me. Phew.
And you can watch us live every week on Thursdays at 1 o'clock Pacific and 4 o'clock Eastern, and all the times in between. And then you can watch us on replay at Roku and YouTube. But you can take us with you, right, on our podcast, right, Barry?
Absolutely. So the show is now listed as a podcast on all the podcast platforms, so you don't have to watch our faces, but you hear our voices. So if you're out driving or hiking or doing anything else in your life, or you want to listen to a podcast on your favorite platforms, whether it's Apple Podcasts, Spotify, wherever you listen to podcasts, look for Let's Talk Dating with Christine and Barry, and you can check us out. Again, with 260 episodes, you can listen to all of our talks and get lots of information and insights. You could basically binge listen and get all the information you need to have good dates and good relationships.
And we'd love to have you review us and like us and share us with all of your friends and family that are having challenges with their dating and relationships as well.
Yep.
And we'll be back next week with another interesting subject on Let's Talk Dating with Christine and Barry.
I'll see you then. Take care of yourselves.
Bye for now.